Ooh, what's that right there? OBS Studio. What does it say?
I don't know.
Oh, it just shows that it's on. We're on now.
There we are.
What the hell?
Yay, you just had to back out and come back, that's all.
That's going to be an awful long delay. Claire's in, Meemaw.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's go like this for a second. You are live.
What are you trying to see?
You got it up?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, tell me when you see me raise my hand.
I can't tell you because I'm not in there yet. So do it again.
Then why did you lie to me?
I did have it up and it backed out. Now don't start. Everybody's had a rough time with these stinking live chats, so just chill for a second. Okay, you just put your hand up.
Okay, now are we sure that wasn't the first one or the second?
I don't know.
Alright, so let's do this. Tell me what I do.
No, it's a pretty long delay. Because you're just now fussing at me. That's the second hand up. You just put your hat on. Or off.
It's about a 35-second delay.
Okay, guys.
Okay. Alright. So. Oh.
At least for me. I don't know. Alright, y'all.
We've been on for almost 2 minutes, but we've been trying to get on for almost 20 minutes. Grits and Gravy, what's up, Bob? Wolf Mountain trim looks great. Thanks, D.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Tams.
Grits and Gravy, Tams. Wolf
Professor.
Mountain. That sounds like a new one, isn't it?
I think so.
Bob's Homestead.
And of course, we have no way to communicate.
Of course not. Here you go.
Gable Greek.
Didn't see any hits. Yes, we're going to get to that in just a second.
Thank you, Sheeps, for her.
Sheps for her.
Sheps for her. I always want to call it Sheeps.
I don't know.
I am so tired.
It's been a long day, guys.
But I made it home. They did not get to enforce the Baker's Law on me today.
Hey, Krista.
I made it out of the VA safe and sound. Now, granted, I scared the crap out of some people today, but it'll be okay. Why is it so hard to believe that a fat guy can have good blood pressure?
Because most fat people don't have good blood pressure.
I'm sorry, but this heart does not pump Kool-Aid. It pumps nitro.
Mm-mm.
And then the jerk that took my blood. Oh, feel how warm that is.
I don't feel anything.
I see what you're doing. That's fine. Alright, that's cool. That's quite alright.
Everybody does it, Jason.
Hey, Amanda. Mr. Body Oil. Suburban. Mama.
Baker's Law. Explain it. Baker Act.
It's Baker Act. That means if you go down to the VA and you act a fool, they can hold you for 72 hours to claim that they're protecting you and others from you.
Protecting you from yourself and protecting you from, or protecting others from you. Most don't have sweet wives with essential oils. Yeah, let me tell you, I was packing today. I was definitely packing.
We got to my primary care doctor while we're waiting for everybody to get in. We got to my primary care doctor. And this new nurse, it was a dude. And kind of find out, it wasn't even a nurse. He was an LPN. So he was like a nurse in training that still needs to finish college kind of thing. He went to technical school, not a 4-year degree. That's the difference between an LPN and an RN. And he come in, grabbed the paperwork, and then he started making fun of my last names. I'm like, I know this fat jerk is not making fun of my name.
And he did it when we were sitting down. Like, he didn't do it like reading and saying it to us. He was like,
oh, look, I got a
yeah.
And he was like, then he comes into the waiting room, and he's like, Mr. Jason? I said, why don't you say my name like you just said it a second ago? And
when you were making fun of it.
Eyes got like that big. And he's like, so what origin is this? And then he wouldn't shut up. He just kept on talking. I don't know if it was nervous talk. Because you scared him. I don't know if it was nervous talk or this is just this dude's personality, but he just kept talking. And I'm like, my word, this man talks more than my wife. And I stepped on the scale. He wouldn't let me take any of the stuff out of my pockets. And so he made me step on the scale. And he didn't ask me what my boots were. And I was wearing steel-toed boots, but fully dressed. Everything in my pocket. All that. I weighed 246. And I went, okay. So I gained a little bit of weight back. Oh well, it's life. We're walking in. Sat down. He puts the blood pressure cuff on and automatically starts trying to talk about heart disease and diabetes and blah, blah, blah. And he hits the button, puts the O2 sensor on the finger and puts the thermometer in my mouth. O2 sensor was off. I'm absorbing 98%. And I was like, he's like, that's good.
Temperature comes back.
Temperature comes at 97.1. He's like, that's really good. My blood pressure came back the first time as 110 over 70. And he was like, that can't be right.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again. And hit the button again.
That thing's squeezing your arm.
And so that's probably why this arm
That's what
hurt.
I was just thinking.
So he did it again. And it come out almost lower. I can't remember exactly what it was lower. It was like a couple of points on each side. He's like, there's got to be something wrong with this blood pressure cuff. Took it off. Flattened it all out. Okay. Put it on again.
It's about 20 pounds of stuff.
And he wrapped it back around my arm and hit it again. Now I'm getting aggravated now.
Oh yeah.
And
now imagine he's already got anxiety, so he's like compounding on top of the anxiety. Now he's irritated and anxious.
Because one, he wouldn't stop talking. And two, he just couldn't believe, because his comment was when he hit the thing, he was like, my blood pressure's not even that good, and I weigh less than you. And I was like, oh, you.
Family friendly.
And so he put it on and he hit it again, and it come out 113 over 75 because I was starting to get a little aggravated. He's like, that blood pressure cuff's got to be wrong. And he took it off my arm and unplugged it. And I said, boss man, if you put another blood pressure cuff on my arm, I'm going to choke you. I have decent blood pressure. I said, that's just the way that it is. Dr. Lupin didn't understand it because... It was
Dr. Lou, but yeah.
he would always send me to call me fat, sit me down for 30 minutes, talk about me being obese, and I was going to be diabetic, and my liver was going to fail.
And send you 3 times to get your blood checked.
He used to send me to get my blood drawn like, over and over and over again to the old black lady that was down there that's been like drawing blood since like Christ was a corporal. She come back up with the paperwork and she said, this is correct. And he's like, but it can't be. It's better than mine. And she's like, I'm sorry. It's correct. And boom. And And I just kind of was just sitting there kind of looking at him, and he stared at me for a few minutes. Maybe he just never been talked to that way, or he didn't know if I was joking or what. Well, then he sat back down at the desk, and he's like, "Are you all caught up on your vaccinations?" I said, "Yeah, I pretty much think I am, yeah." He goes, "Well, what about your flu shot?" And I just looked at him, and he goes, "Respectfully declines." I got back out there, and I told Robin, I said, "This is all you today. I am doing this for you." And I told her what happened, and then she reached in her Australian leather sack of
Yeah, by the way, Tammy's in here. I use that pouch that you sent me to put all of my travel. When we travel, I put all of my oils in there. So anyway.
So then we go in to see the doc, and I kind of asked him, I said, "What is it with people not believing that I could have decent blood pressure?" And he's like, "Well, you have gained 12 pounds since you were in here last time." And I said, "You know, he didn't let me take anything out of my pockets, and I'm wearing steel-toe boots." And he didn't say nothing else after that. And so then he went to poking and pushing, and is it tender? And how come, somebody answer me this, if there's any nurses or doctors in here, when you tell them this area under here is sore, is tender, and they go to, they start out lightly pushing, right?
And they're like...
They're lightly pushing. What about here? It's not that bad there. Here? Yeah, it's a little tender. Here? Yeah, that's tender. And they push harder. I almost choked him. Because he was like, "So it's tender right in here?" And he kept pushing harder. And I'm like, "Dog!" And she's laughing. She's laughing at me.
The backstory is that he's been seen for this before. So the doc already knows what this, basically what, has an idea of where this is, what it is, except for diagnosing what it truly is, but he knows where it is and what it feels like. And he just starts like poking and prodding, and the next thing you know, Jason's like, "Doc!" His arms on, and I'm dying. I'm like, "Oh my God. He's gonna kill somebody."
And so then we had to go from there. We had to go to the mental health clinic, and then we had to go to the ear place, X-ray, pharmacy, and then to get my blood
drawn. And
so we tried to be smart because the VA hospital is kind of big down there in Augusta. I mean, I probably lost 3 pounds after just walking.
Because they had the main entrance closed down, so you had to walk around to go up to the entrance, but then walk back to where the entrance was to where we needed to be. So it was like this big, huge U-shape we were having to do.
And so we finally get to the lab place, and big honking sign. It said, "Please read the directions." So I'm looking at it, and they broke it down Barney style, and it says, "Take a number." No, it says, "Pull tab, take a number, sit down, come up to window when number is called." And I'm sitting there, and because at first I was just dumbfounded that they put this. I mean, the sign was stinking huge.
Yeah. And
I'm just kind of dumbfounded, and the lady's like, and I'm sitting there reading it, and Robin's like, "Okay, well,
just take the number.
Just take the number." And I said, "Well, I've just never seen this sign before. I'm doing what it said. I'm reading the directions." Because in the big sign underneath, or
read
smaller
sign
sign
first.
Said "Read sign first." So I'm reading the sign, and the lady behind the counter, she goes, "Oh, that's only for people who haven't been here before." I said, "Oh, okay." I reach up and start pulling a number. This one goes, "Well, what if he's been here before? Well, what do you do?" And the lady looked at it and said, "Pull a number and sit down."
She's talking about reading the sign, and I was right over my head.
So I pulled my number, and it said 33. And it looked out there, and it said, "Now serving 34. And she kept calling 34.
34. You need to come to the window. 34.
And so I said, "Okay." And I walked up to her, and I said, "Ma'am, do y'all's numbers go up or down?"
And she looked at you like
and she looked at me like I was smoking crack.
Uh-huh.
And she says, "They go up." And I said,
"Well."
And no, because she did. She went just like that. She went, "They go up." And I went, you're calling 34, but I just pulled 33. I said, so what am I supposed to do? And she's like, stand right here.
It was so funny. I was dying. It was so stressful. And then we get everything, we think we're done. And we're like, okay, we're going to go eat, relax for a little bit, maybe go look at the bookstore, and then head back to the house. Yeah, that didn't happen. So we get a phone call from a liaison from somewhere, and she's like, yeah, all that stuff you just did,
Waste of time.
waste of time. You weren't supposed to do any of that. Doctor can't do anything for you. What?
You waste of time.
Yeah.
You waste of money. You waste of time.
So we had to go back, backtrack.
We had to go back to the VA. So instead of getting home at like 1,
2 or 3 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
No, like 2 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
It's
I mean,
yeah.
if we wouldn't have stopped for dinner or lunch, we would have been home by 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because we were done by like 10:30. And so we got home like 30 minutes ago.
No, it wasn't that late. We got home at like 6:30, I think. We've been home for like 2 hours, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels like we've been home 5 minutes.
Yeah. So
anyway.
And guess what? I get to go back Friday.
We both get to go back Friday.
Why? So they can tell me I have hearing loss.
Which is hilarious because every woman that talked to him today, which is the tone that he cannot hear. Every woman that spoke to him in their normal female girly voices, he was like staring at them like, what are you talking about?
I see your lips moving, but I don't hear what you're saying.
Yeah. So anyway, I had to keep telling people he can't hear you. And so we went to the audiology clinic and got that checked out. So
be safe, Hoss.
Alright. So anyway, we have the clues.
Okay. So
for tonight's class. That self-taught hearing loss.
Keep on talking about it because you're going to be here in a weekend or two.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't scared of your reputation.
Well, we don't know that. It hasn't come back yet. Okay, no, you have to tell everybody.
When you go to the VA, and it's one, I love to act dumb at this part, because the doctors for some reason get so uncomfortable.
It's hilarious.
When you're getting your blood test, they have to ask your permission to test you for any STD.
Yes.
And the big ones now are syphilis and HIV.
AIDS. Yeah, HIV.
And so I just like to sit there and I just like to play ignorant. I'm kind of like, what? What do you mean? What? And so finally he
Ooh, Lordy, he's coming out the gate tonight.
And so you are so lucky this is family friendly.
So anyway, go ahead.
That's all I'm saying. Because I was in the elevator with like 4 of your friends today. And they started talking and I'm like, this just ain't fair. Y'all need 2 more. Anyway. And so I told them, I said, they asked if they could test my blood for that. I don't care. I've been with her for 11 years. If I've got it, she's got some serious explaining to do.
You gotta give them the background. What they did, they don't normally just screen you for it. They did it for a specific reason because they told us that apparently way back when, was it like World War II or Vietnam or something? I wasn't really. But anyway, basically what they said is that they had a lot of soldiers or whatever come back with complaining of ringing in their ears. And apparently,
y'all got to clap.
One of the side effects of syphilis
is ringing in the ears.
Was ringing in the ears. So he said, let's just go ahead and rule it out so that when everything comes back and you go to do your hearing test, they go ahead and run it because they're not going to run the hearing test without a blood test that says negative for syphilis. So that was pretty funny. I was like dumbfounded. I couldn't believe that that one of the side effects of, or one of the symptoms, not side effects, one of the symptoms of syphilis is ringing in the ears. So, anyway, thought that was pretty funny.
So that was fun.
So, anyway, all of that to say,
and I didn't get my books that I wanted to get in Barnes & Noble.
No, you know, I realized that when we got back on the road, because it was so ridiculous. We were sitting there, and Jason was like, because I was still on the phone with the people telling me that we had wasted all of our time, and I was trying to handle it so that Jason didn't fly off the handle. And
I couldn't hear on the phone.
Yeah, you couldn't hear anyway. So I told Jason, I said, why don't you go get us a cup of coffee? We'll go look at some. And then when this guy said, you know, I'm here now, I can help you right now, I was like, well, let's go so we don't lose the opportunity to talk to this guy, which was good because if we hadn't, I mean, he had 2 or 3 people waiting on us to leave. Like, he's a pretty popular guy.
Well, see, here's the thing. It's like he's tucked back in like
a little corner.
A little corner.
It's not even.
It was almost like, to be able to find his office, it was like an adventure from Dungeons and Dragons at the VA. You had to slay this many orderlies, and then you had to do this to finally get to his office. And it was tucked way back there in the corner, and no wonder. It was like rescuing the princess with Mario Brothers. He had all these books and stuff to tell you step by step.
He had so much knowledge.
And come to find out, we've been speaking the wrong language to the VA people for like the last 11 years, that my VA rating could be, or should be around 70 to 80%, but because we didn't speak the right language, it's where it's at.
Yep.
So
all that to say,
let's talk about oils now.
Let's talk about oils. Okay. It's Happy VD Day. Oh my God, Valentine's Day. Do you have any oils for VD? Valentine's Day, right? Is that what you meant? Okay, so anyway, man, I love that smell. Isn't that fantastic?
I like black licorice.
Okay. Really? Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do the clues now, since everybody's always talking about how they don't have Instagram, so we were going to do this today. Just to see. So the first one is this one for Simply Circus. She's not even in here.
Oh, okay. There she is. There she is. Okay.
Where?
Right there.
Oh, there she is.
Okay, the first clue is specifically for Nicole.
Oh my gosh, you're horrible. You better turn it off.
Okay, that clue is for Nicole and Nicole only. Because that had absolutely nothing to do with the oil tonight.
Now see, you made a sound and talked about it, and so now people are going to start guessing before we even get going.
Okay, here is the first clue.
Okay. Now remember, we have a delay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, are you counting? It's like 30 seconds.
Okay, go ahead and take that one down. You're a bad man, Jason. Tuna. No, it's not anise. No, not clove.
Okay, so everybody got that one. The Grease battle. It was a battle in Greece. Okay. So, here come hint number 2. Hint number 2.
Gladiators. Whoa, what happened? There it is. Jason fighting with Nerf Boy. Nope, not rum and chamomile.
Hint number 2.
Not rum and chamomile. Nope. Gladiators. Okay, you can take that one down.
So what's the gladiators and a drunk dude have in common? Okay.
It's not a drunk dude. Nope. Yes, that's absinthe, but that's not what it's not wormwood. Keep going, you're almost there.
And here come the third and final hint.
Not arsenic. Oh my gosh, no. Not arsenic.
That's not the blob.
Nope. Okay, you can take that one now. Not hyssop, not myrrh. Turmeric, no. Sandalwood, no. LSD, no. Saffron, no. Ground beef, no. Frankincense, no. Corinth, no. Lots of wounds. There you go, grits and gravy.
Grits and gravy, grits and gravy, gritsy, gritsy, grits and gravy. Okay, so we got a 30-second delay. So anybody else after grits and gravy?
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. What the crap was that? No, not basil. No. Alright, it looks like she was the only one that guessed it, because we've got to be at that point now. Now I get the clues, LOL. See? So, fennel. What was the last pickup? Sausage. Okay, so the very first clue was the Battle of Marathon. And I'll tell you about that in just a second. The second one was a picture of absinthe. Absinthe includes wormwood, fennel, and anise. The third one was ground sausage. And one of the things when you put pork together to make your sausage, one of the biggest ingredients that really drives home the sausage taste is fennel seed. So those were my clues.
You should have used link sausage.
I tried to use link sausage, but I knew that we were going to be streaming this, so I needed to make sure that I had public domain pictures, and it was very hard to find some link sausage. So, anyway, that was that. Alright, so grits and gravy. Yeehaw.
Don't worry, I still have 2 more to give out at any given point in time.
Yeah, we are going to give away 3 samples, so we'll figure it out in a second. You guys kill me with this stupid heater every time.
It was caught in here.
My pants are sticking to my legs now. It's
nobody
sweaty.
told you.
That was some ugly sausage. It wasn't ugly sausage. Anyway, okay. Sasha, wait, who should win too? Is Bibi gonna taste it? Yes, of course he is. Aren't you? Yeah, see, he said when they stopped eating pork, they started using fennel to make ground turkeys taste exactly the same. See, so that's it, yeah. The fennel, and what's crazy is I've always had the fennel seed, so I've never really smelled it before, I've just tasted it, and it tastes different than it smells. The smell is definitely like anise. It smells like black licorice, but not, I don't like black licorice. But this has a...
It almost smells like cough syrup.
It's very... And that's one thing. Like, they use it in a lot of elixirs. A lot of...
Like NyQuil. It smells like NyQuil.
They use it because it is an expectorant, so, and a mucolytic, so... Fennel is yummy. Go, Jason.
You put up sausage on Valentine's Day.
Seriously?
I think that goes to the hit with the beating of St. Valentine.
Yes, I know. Anyway, okay. So, So, the first pizza for Fennel.
Okay.
All right, chug. I wouldn't need it, Jason.
Here we go.
He's nervous. What are you doing?
It kind of tastes like the black licorice.
Uh-huh.
So it's not that bad.
Your face doesn't say that.
My face lies sometimes.
Okay. You're going to be licking your... Okay. Alrighty. I wouldn't need it. Alright, we good?
I don't know how good.
Them's going to be some healthy teeth. Alright. So, let's talk about Fennel.
Oh, excuse me. Tamzy, I need to get it up with you because I'm almost out of that toothpaste and I really like it.
Okay. So, the very first thing is you can obviously ingest this oil. You can use it topically.
Why do I feel like my lips are shrinking? This is another hemorrhoid thing, I swear, Robin. You are so dead. Is it?
I don't think so. Wait. Maybe it is.
I literally feel like my gums are... It's not funny.
Palmetto says it's not that bad, is it, in comparison to a cheeseburger? He's comparing it to other oils. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's talk about people who should or should not use this. Oh, as far as carrier oil, you can use it neat. But if you don't use it neat, you definitely, like, just a drop.
I literally feel like my gums are shrinking back from my teeth.
I don't know why. Okay, so very first thing, contraindications, things that you need to keep in mind.
I better not be allergic to this.
No, there's hardly any. Go ahead, she says. It's safe, she says. Okay, so very first thing, this is an emmenagogue, which means that it can start and regulate menses. So,
What?
pregnant women should not use, and careful use, so heavily diluted for younger children. And the reason why they offer this up as a suggestion is that it can be helpful for colic, but it has to be really, really, really diluted. Like, you're talking like a tablespoon of oil to 2 tablespoons of oil for 1 drop. Emmenagogue, that means that it helps with your women's cycle. It helps to regulate you, or bring it on, actually. Also, it does increase estrogen.
Oh, great.
So
Here comes the jokes. Here comes the jokes.
So women with breast or uterine cancer or tumors should not use this. Also, you want to limit your dosage because heavy dosage can cause convulsions, hallucinations, or mental imbalance, which is not 1 drop, so don't even start that.
Did I say that? I'm
also,
complaining that feels like my gums are...
That is so not funny. You know there are people that are... Jason's going to get a visit for hip flow. Yes, it's also good for menopause. You don't have to mention it for each one. No, it's not all of them, Palmetto. It really isn't all of them. But this is, there's a high voices coming. Is there an oil to help you decrease? Yes, this one will help with that as well. It's also, yes, it is one of those Simply 7.
Good, because I have been feeling a little constipated.
Which is why I didn't stop him. Also, people suffering from epilepsy should stay away from should stay away from this oil. So all joking aside, shades of vetiver. Okay, so let's talk about what it is. Okay, it is a, where will Jason? Okay, so it's a perennial plant with yellow flowers. It's native to the Mediterranean. Fennel is part of the carrot family, parsley family. It's related to cumin, dill, caraway, and anise. So people who enjoy their epilepsy are going to get really... Anyway, I'm just...
Ignore him.
I know, I have to ignore him. Put him in the corner. So this is steam distilled, and usually most of these oils are, they use like the flowers, or they use the leaves, or even sometimes in some cases it's the root. But with this one, they actually take the seeds and they crush those, and then they steam distill that to get the oil out of the seeds. So,
Zena, no, we did not change the class date. We just had to do it today because we had to leave yesterday to go to Augusta. Excuse me, for a VA appointment. It was real early in the morning, so we just moved it over tonight.
I would say between this and clary sage, it would help out a lot. Kitty, that would be my guess.
And we're talking, and Claire's right, we're talking fennel.
Fennel. Okay. So let's talk history. Here's where we start to talk about one of the clues. First of all, Egyptians used fennel for food flavoring and also for medicine uses. The Chinese used it to treat snake bites. Now, Roman warriors consumed fennel because it was known to give them strength. It made them, strong. It also would take away their appetite so that they weren't, like, if they were hungry, it curbs appetite. What happened is there was this guy named Philippides, something like that. I can't read my own handwriting. He carried a fennel stalk 150 miles when he ran to Sparta. He was on a mission to collect soldiers at the battle, or for the Battle of Marathon, with Persia in 490 BC. And the town of Marathon actually means place of fennel. And the battle was actually said to have been waged on a field of fennel. And then afterwards, the Athenians used stalks of woven fennel to symbolize their victory. Also, in Greek mythology, Prometheus, who brought fire to mankind, we all, that story about the creating fire. Anyway, he carried it and hid it in a stalk of fennel. There's Sherry. Hey, Sherry. Okay. Let's see. Another thing. Charlemagne. Charlemagne declared in 812 AD that fennel was essential to every garden, and they grew it in the imperial gardens.
Okay, let me interrupt you for a second.
What?
Simply Circus, Simply 7 asked about, where is it at?
Right there.
You said it helps with menopause, like hot flashes and stuff?
Yeah. It helps with hormone balance. So essentially, I would think it would help with hot flashes, but with hot flashes, I would definitely look into there's a women's blend that has It has fennel in it, but it also has like clary sage and a couple of other things in it as well to help out with that.
And Nicole, if you're going...
No, you're not. I won't let you. Stop. Leave her be. Okay, so...
Now, there was another question.
Okay.
And when swept homestead, what is the dosage? I think you need to ask for what she's referring to. Right?
I'm assuming you're asking about, because all we've talked about really is menses at this point. I would say 1 to 2 drops over. It's not Euripides, no. A couple of drops on your abdomen, on your feet, any of those. Either way would work. Let's see. Go back up. I've been menopausal for a few years. Hot flashes, hormones of the pits. Nicole, get with me afterwards and we'll talk. We'll figure out a blend or something that can help you out with that.
You could always just go swimming.
No, you're not. That's not nice.
It's very nice.
No, it's not very nice. Okay, in some Western cultures, they used to hang it over the door frame or place it in keyholes to ward off evil spirits, especially during the summer solstice. And in the 1200s, the English used it to suppress appetite. Now listen to this. They used it to suppress appetite during fasting or during Lent or also during long church services. They would chew on the seeds to keep their stomachs from growling while they were sitting in a church service. The Puritans actually called them meeting seeds because when they would have their church meetings. In the 1700s is when it became an ingredient for absinthe. And absinthe originally was supposed to be a medicinal elixir, which later became a spirit that, like in the 90s, it was like this big, huge thing. It was supposed to be, like a hallucinogenic or something like that, but it really wasn't all that everybody was so excited about. And now, however, we said with fennel, if it was in a high dosage, that it would cause hallucinations, didn't we? So anyway, okay. So all that. All right. So as far as properties go, it's antiseptic. It is antispasmodic. It's an aperitif, and I'll tell you what all these are in a minute. Carminative, a vermifuge, diuretic, emmenagogue, a laxative, stimulant, a stomachic, a splenic, a tonic. It's depurative, and it's an expectorant.
Is it a Democrat?
Yeah, I know, right? Anyway, okay. So the very first, we'll go through the body. Oh, yeah, they're all here. Okay, so we'll go through the
Why don't you go through all of those words that were like not part of the English language?
Okay. Okay. So, antiseptic. You know what antiseptic is?
Like a lotion.
No. No. Basically what fennel is capable of doing is protecting wounds from becoming septic. Becoming, like, remember when we had our pig, she became septic, she had an infection. Okay, so what this will do is, if you have a cut or a wound, you can put this oil on it and it will help prevent the cut or wound from becoming septic or getting infected. Especially like after surgeries, cesarean deliveries, all different kinds of that, more serious wounds.
So if we were in a post-apocalyptic situation,
this would be yeah.
So you would want to have this essential oil because if you are building something, you just cut yourself on some rusty wire or anything.
This is one you could use, yes.
You could use to help stop the tetanus.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now, when we go back to talking about like thieves' oil, which had clove and cinnamon and rosemary and things like that, those are also very powerful antiseptics as well. So one thing I think I've always said is that you want to make sure that you don't limit yourself to just one choice.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have a couple of different options to be able to, to treat your issue with, just so that if one doesn't work, you have a backup, and you have a backup to your backup kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay, so about anaspasmodic. So, as far as this one with the anaspasmodic.
I know what that means. That means like when you're like looking at it, dude, you're a spaz. You can give it to him, and then they're cool.
No.
Like Palmetto, when we see Palmetto, we can give him some, and he'll go from being a spazoid.
Okay, so what anti-spasmodic means is that it stops spasming. So, and this is particularly important in things like in your digestive system, because what it will do is it'll stop your stomach or your intestines or from spasming, but it also it basically has a relaxing effect on nerves, muscles, that kind of thing. And it helps with even with something as simple as like coughing. When you start to coughing and you've got that going, this would help to stop that spasming from happening. Okay, the next one, aperitif.
That stops
Yes.
parakeets from coming around.
Bronchial spasms, yes. Either one. Or muscle spasms. Either one, it's antispasmodic. It'll stop any muscle or anything from spasming. Okay, so aperitif is similar.
I know what that one is.
What?
That stops the parakeets from coming around.
No. Aperitif
Parrots.
is...
It stops the parrots from coming.
No. Stop!
It stops pirates because they've always got the parrots going, arg.
Okay, so what what this does is essentially this is a fancy word for something. No, it's like taking a statin drug and having cramp in your gut. Right.
Keep going.
Okay. So what that means is it's a milder version of a purgative. Yes, the digestion will help. And fennel is in it. Yes, that will help for colitis. It also helps for irritable bowel syndrome as well.
Irritable bowel happens after you eat Mexican food.
Fennel oil helps to clear everything up. Constipation. It's a laxative essentially. Instead of it being a purgative where it just like causes diarrhea, it just starts things to move a little bit so that you can,
So you're not going to be like what J-No says, pooping through
a screen door? No, pooping through a screen door. No, it's not going to be that. Okay, so the next word is a carminative.
That stops you from doing crime.
You should know this word. I mean, I'm disappointed. By now, you should know what a carminative is.
It's a car.
No.
Like a Jag.
No. This is the one that helps get rid of gas.
Yeah,
It stops you from the farting, from the pooting, from the air fluffing.
It won't let you float an air biscuit?
No air biscuits here.
No,
Okay.
no air poops?
No air poops. That's actually a funny story. We have a friend who has a son who is deaf. And since he's deaf, he could not hear Jason fart really, really loud. But after a few seconds, he could smell what Jason did. And so he looked at his dad and was asking his dad, what's wrong? And he's like, what's wrong? And his dad, he was like, I don't know what the sign is for fart. And so he signed air poop. And yeah, so now we now call farting air pooping. So anyway, Yeah, Fluffington. Okay, so basically what it does is it helps gas escape from your intestines, and it can give you relief if you're bloated or gassy. This is why I said colic, when it's very heavily diluted, can be very helpful for colic.
You're gonna have to speed it up.
Okay, so yeah, well, all right. So anyway, there's all these other properties that it has. Vermifuge is for parasites, so it'll help with parasites. It's also a diuretic, so this is going to help with kidney infections, bladder infections, any kind of urinary tract infection, anything like that. Also edema, so it's going to get rid of all of the extra fluid. Let's see, emmenagogue, we already covered that one. That one helps with women who have irregular or painful issues. The fennel helps to clear that up. It also helps with any kind of PMS stuff that goes with that. Now, the really crazy one is, this is a word that I really like. It's galactagogue. And what that really fancy word means is that it helps to increase milk in a lactating mother. So if they're having issues with producing enough milk, this actually will help with that.
I wonder if we added fennel seed to the cows.
It's a possibility. We could try it. I would even think if you diluted it and put it on the udder, that might help. We could even try that. Okay, laxative, self-explanatory. Stimulant, now this one's a little bit crazy. What this does is it promotes all of the stuff within the body to do what it's supposed to do. It doesn't let anything slack off. So that's why it's stimulant in that, in that aspect. As far as stomachic or splenic, that just means that it helps to keep that particular thing, which in this case the stomach and the spleen, keeps them healthy. So very good for your digestive system. It's also tonic, meaning that like even in your circulatory system, it's going to help with all your blood vessels and things staying strong like they're supposed to. Depurative, what that means is that it cleans up your blood. It actually removes, it's antioxidant, so it's going to remove all those free radicals out of your bloodstream. It detoxifies, so it'll take the blood urea, uric acid, toxins, all that stuff. It'll clean and purify your blood. Let's see, expectorant. Obviously, that's and mucolytic. That's going to help with mucus when you have a lot of phlegm. It's going to help break that up and get rid of it. And I think in about 2 minutes we're going to have to get over to full spectrum. But anyway, so that's basically what this is in a nutshell. I didn't have a whole lot to really go over. I did mention irritable bowel syndrome. This has been known to be pretty effective in helping with some of the pain associated with IBS. Also colic. Colic's a big thing. If you had to figure out which body systems this really helps out the most, I would say your digestive system, definitely, because this blend is in, this oil is in your digestive blends. It's always in the digestive blends to help with that. It helps with respiratory system because of it being a mucolytic and an expectorant. It also helps with like wheezing, stuffy nose, hoarse voice, that kind of thing. One thing I did want to mention before we get ready to leave, this is actually also good for men with enlarged prostate because of it being a detoxifier. It does help with detoxifying that stuff as well. So this is another thing that, those could do. Did you wave to Tasha? She would like for you to wave to her before she goes to bed. Okay, so what about the contest, the tickets? Are you going to tell everybody about that? Or,
yes.
Or do you want to?
I'm going to talk about it briefly, real quickly right now, and then we'll talk about it more tomorrow in the garden with Big Bear.
At 5:30, yeah.
At 5:30, because I'm supposed to be a guest on Full Spectrum tonight, and I forgot all about it, so I need to hurry up and
get out of here.
And I'm so sorry, guys, that we had to cut the class short because of that. But basically, what we are going to do to win the first set of tickets, which is for Go for Green's convention, is we're going to kind of play with next week's videos, kind of like a Where's Waldo, but it's going to be Where's Ladessa.
So be looking starting when? Monday?
Starting Monday with a product review, start looking for Ladessa in every single video. And then send us a email. Do not put it on there. I want to send us an email. And then whoever gets the most right wins.
Win the tickets.
Wins the tickets. And it's whoever, basically what we're going to do is who gets it right
first. Right.
So be looking for that. We'll talk more about it in depth tomorrow. And if we got a bunch of ties, then we'll just put the names in hats and we'll pull it. So,
Susan, we'll do oils tomorrow. I'll give away 2 more oils tomorrow. We gotta go because Jason's supposed to be on Full Spectrum. So we'll see you guys over there, and y'all have a good evening.
Yep. We'll give out the oils tomorrow. All right. Bye.